Hello again, it's Allison From-Tapp from Spalding University's Counseling Center, and we are back for day 6 of our Greater Good Toolkit. So today we're going to talk about a self-compassion letter. If you had listened to some of the things earlier in the week, we had talked about taking a self-compassion break, so some of this will sound familiar. So, why we should do this? We often judge ourselves much more harshly than we judge others, beating ourselves up over our faults, our flaws, our shortcomings. That makes us feel isolated, unhappy, and usually more stressed. Sometimes we even try to feel better by denigrating other people. Rather than harsh self-criticism, a healthier response is to treat yourself with compassion and understanding. According to psychologist Kristen Neff, this self-compassion has 3 main components: mindfulness, a feeling of common humanity, and self-kindness. This exercise asks you to write a letter to yourself, expressing compassion for an aspect of yourself that you don't like. Research suggests that people who respond with compassion to their own flaws and setbacks, rather than beating themselves up, experience greater physical and mental health. So let's talk about how you're going to do that. So first, identify something about yourself that might make you feel ashamed, insecure, or just not good enough. It could be something related to your personality, your behavior, your abilities, relationships, or any part of your life you choose. Once you identify something, write it down. Describe how it makes you feel. Sad, embarrassed, angry. Try to be as honest as possible, keeping in mind that no one else is going to see what you write. The next step is to write a letter to yourself expressing compassion, understanding, and acceptance for that part of yourself that you dislike. As you write, try to follow some of these guidelines. Imagine that there is someone who loves and accepts you unconditionally, just for who you are. What would that person say to this part of yourself? Remind yourself that everyone has something that they don't like about themselves, and that no one is without flaws. None of us are perfect. Think about how many other people in the world are struggling with the same thing that you might be struggling with. Consider the ways in which events have happened in your life, the family environment you grew up in, or even in your genes that may have contributed to this negative aspect of yourself. In a compassionate way, ask yourself whether these are things that you could improve or do better on. Focus on constructive changes that could make you happier, healthier, and more fulfilled, and avoid judging yourself. Also remember, there may be some things that you can't change, and so you just have to be self-compassionate. After writing this letter, put it down for a while. Then come back to it later and read it again. It may be especially helpful to read it whenever you're feeling bad about this particular aspect of yourself, as a reminder to be more self-compassionate. Try this practice once a week if you can, or at least once a month. So, why we know that this works. Self-compassion reduces painful feelings of shame and self-criticism that can compromise our mental health and our well-being and stand in the way of our personal growth. Writing in a self-compassionate way can help you replace your own self-critical voice with a more compassionate one that comforts and reassures you rather than berating you for your shortcomings. It takes time and practice, but the more you write in this way, the more familiar and natural that compassionate voice will feel, and the easier it will be to remember to treat yourself with kindness. Whether you're feeling down or feeling like you've made a mistake, always treat yourself with that self-compassion and kindness. Be kind to yourself today in whatever way you can. Get out and enjoy the weather if you can. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow.